Hello ladies, welcome to August. So these are the demo videos. This is where you're gonna see every workout, every exercise, any modifications, any possible anything that you will need to know about these workouts and these exercises, okay? So the first video is usually the longest because I do the most explaining, but each workout has its own video and it's by date, and that's what I'm gonna post in the group every Sunday for the week. So you'll get week 1 all posted together, week 2, week 3, week 4. So if you come across something that you cannot do and I don't show a modification for it in this video, you can message me. I also have in my resource videos, it's called something like bad knees, no bending, something along those lines. So if you are somebody that has knee issues and a lot of like the squatting or other things that you have to bend a lot with bother you, you can look through that video and it'll give you some ideas that you can substitute in place of some of the other things that you might not be able to do during leg day. So we are on Monday, August 1st. We're on lower body and there is 5, 6, or 7 rounds. So what that means is you're choosing how many rounds do you want to do? 5, 6, or 7. So that's up to you. And then we are all doing 10 squat with side raise, 10 weighted lateral lunges, 15 weighted bridges, and 15 fire hydrants. So this one only has one part. If you look at Tuesday the 2nd, you'll see there's 2 parts. So I try to separate the parts by star and underline, and all of the different parts, which is only ever 1 or 2, they get done separately. So if it is a day like Tuesday with 2 parts, you always do part 1 before starting part 2. I'm going to do a demonstration quickly of the exercises. So if you might know it or you might recognize the name but you don't remember what it is, you can see it and then you can move on. I'm gonna then go through in very much detail the form and how to do everything. So if you're somebody who's been with me before, you can probably not even watch the videos or watch the first couple of seconds and then continue on. If you've never been with me before or it's something you've never heard of before, then you're gonna have to watch. I always encourage, if you could skip through, because I don't want to waste your time, but I do think it's really important to explain the form and not just do it like one time and then you try to copy me and you don't know what you're doing. So some of these videos are long. All right, so the number in front of the exercise is the number of reps. So that means that's how many times you are doing it. And then you always go down the list. So you would always do 10, 10, 15, 15. That counts as 1 round. 10, 10, 15, 15 is 2 rounds, okay? So you go up to whatever number of rounds that you picked. So squat with side raise, per. So per in parentheses means you're doing one side and then the other side. So because we're on lower, I know it's leg. So I'm doing 10 per right leg, 10 per left leg, okay? Squat with side raise. And then you'd switch sides. Weighted laterals. Weighted bridges. So you can hold the weight however you would like. I just don't feel like grabbing another dumbbell. And last we have fire hydrants. Okay, so first we have squat with side raise per. So again, that means you're doing 10 on your left leg, 10 on your right leg. So we start with a regular squat, and then when we stand, we do a side raise with our leg. So it looks like this: squat, raise, squat, raise, squat, raise. Okay, so for your squat, if you've never done a squat before, you want to get shoulder width or possibly a little wider stance with your feet. Your toes should be pointed forward or slightly turned out. And then when you drop down, you're gonna make sure your butt drops down to the floor. So your butt should be going down to the floor. Your knees will be bending. Notice that my knees are not caving in. They're either here or a little bit bowed out. That is my squat position. Okay, so my butt drops to the floor. Notice that my shoulders and my back stay upright. I don't fold when I drop. I try to keep everything upright everything facing forward. The only thing that's moving is my knees and my butt is dropping to the floor. So that's my squat right there. I stand up and I side, not kick, but kind of lift or raise. So all that is just raising your legs straight out to the side. So my knee is pretty much straight. I never would like to be totally locked out, but I do have my legs straight. I just kick it up as high as I can to the side, and then I drop back down. So the number one thing with these is you wanna make sure you're always in balance. So when you squat and then raise, you wanna land, make sure you're balanced before you start your second one. You don't wanna just do this. I mean, I have good balance, but if you don't, that could get really tricky. So make sure you squat, kick, land. Squat, kick, land. Squat, kick, land. If you're somebody that doesn't have good balance, you could always do this next to a chair or a counter or something, and you can just hold on like this and go there, okay? Now, if you're somebody who has bad knees, you can do a full sit. So you'd want to get a little bit away from the chair. You can do a full sit. So I'm basically keeping my squat positioning. I'm just sitting down. So you don't want to actually sit into the chair. You want to just sit back up. Your shoulders are straight. Everyone's looking forward. Sit, stand, kick. Full sit, stand, kick. Full sit. Okay, so it is possible to do it that way. If you're somebody who is new to squatting and it feels very awkward and you don't know where your body is in space, if you're going low enough, not too low, not far enough, you don't understand really where you are, you're gonna wanna grab a chair or a bench and you're gonna do the tap and go. So what that means is you're gonna go until you feel whatever it is that you put there and stand up. So instead of doing a full sit, you're just gonna tap to your height and then stand up. So that's how you know, okay, that's where I need to be. So tap, kick, okay? So my knee. So once again, the point of the tap and go is just to give you reference of how low you should be going and to make sure that you go that depth every single time, okay? So that's a good tool for any squats that we do if you feel like you're not sure where you are. All right, weighted lateral lunges. So our lateral lunge is basically a side lunge, but you're not actually going to turn to the side, okay? So everything stays facing forward. You're gonna take a big step out, and your butt is gonna do the same thing it does when you squat, except we're not squatting down, we're going diagonal backward. And we're hitting this position, which this leg is straight. I have no weight bearing on this leg. All the weight is on this leg, and this is bent to almost a 90-degree angle, okay? And then I return. So big step out, sink diagonal back into this leg, and back up, okay? This is what it looks like from this side. Big step out, sink diagonal back. So see how from the side it looks like I'm doing a squat? It's the same ideas, it's just different foot positioning, okay? So again, step out to the side, diagonal back. Think about there's a pocket back here that you're trying to get your butt into, and up, okay? Now if getting the hang of that takes you a little while, you can go ahead and do it without weight. Anytime I say weighted something means there's the option to do it with no weight. So once you are comfortable with weight, you can hold it a bunch of different ways. You can hold one like this, the long way. What I've started doing is I hold one in the opposite hand, and when I go down, I kind of reach across, back up, reach across. I find that this is the easiest way for me. This way, I find I tend to lean forward a little bit too much, but maybe it will work for you. Or you can also hold a dumbbell in each hand and just kind of go on either side of your knee when you go down. And then of course, you're going to switch sides and do the same thing on the other side. I need to crack my knee, but I can't get it. Weighted bridges. So again, you can do this without weight. What our bridge is, which I feel like most of us have probably done or seen, is you're on your back with your knees bent, and all you're doing is lifting your hips and squeezing your butt. So lift your hips up to the ceiling, squeeze your butt. So you want to be up here and you want to be flat. You don't want to be with your butt sagged. You want to get up as high as you can, so lift your hips, squeeze your butt, back down. Up, down. So notice that I'm not going super fast. Up, down. Now, to add weight, and it doesn't have to be heavy, if you have a barbell, you could use it, but I do not. So I have my dumbbells, and what I do is I take them and then I place them diagonally in the pocket where your leg meets your torso, pretty much. So they basically sit there pretty nicely. All I have to do is I take the palm, the bottom of the palm of my hand, and I press it up under the top of the weight. So that keeps it in place. I'm not actually having to hold the weight, like grip the weight. I'm just basically using my palms so they don't slip. And then I go here. So again, I'm not having to really hold on to the weight. It's definitely not gonna slip and go anywhere. It's just sitting in that pocket and I'm holding it like this. So again, it's sitting in this pocket and I'm just basically butting my palm up against it so it doesn't slip downward, okay? If you had a light enough pair, it might sit really well in there. It depends on how big the dumbbell is. And lastly, we have fire hydrants. So you're gonna get down on your hands and knees, and you're gonna make sure that your back is not overly arched. It's not up like this. It's nice and flat. And you're going to lift basically you're rotating at the hip. So you're gonna lift your leg and you're gonna keep it in the exact form that it is. So you're gonna lift it being bent up in the air to your side, back down. 1, lift, down, lift, down. So I'm lifting just right out to my side. I'm keeping my leg bent and you're just lifting and returning. And again, make sure that you're not overly arched with your butt. Keep your spine nice and neutral. So you're gonna feel this on kind of like your side butt hip area. So when you lift up, you're targeting this area, okay? And if you do have resistance bands or something, that would be a good one to use them for. You can just wrap it around your legs. So then when you go like this, you've got a lot of tension there, so it'll make it a little bit harder. I've also seen people actually tuck a dumbbell, like this is a 5-pound. I've seen them tuck it into the knee crease. I guess that's actually, I've never done that before. I've never tried that before, but I've seen that. They tuck it in and then they go like this. So it just adds a little bit of weight. That actually, I might start doing that now because that's actually really cool. Okay, anyway, so that is your Monday the 1st.